Today, I will be tier listing all 32 of my platinum trophies in alphabetical order. I want to make it clear that this is not a game review. I will be judging the ranking of each game based on its path to the platinum trophy, not the game itself, despite my own personal opinions. If you skip ahead to view the final list, that's fine, but at least hear my 4 ranking criteria. Difficulty, time to complete, enjoyment, and clout/status. Ranking based on difficulty and enjoyment is subjective, as most trophies are tied directly to progression. So they're as easy or as fun as you would view the game to be. Because of this, I'll try my best to be as unbiased as possible, or at the very least won't let it influence the ranking a ton. Also, clout isn't a super heavy weighing decider in my ranking because most of these games' platinums do not matter, which is why I'm making this video to give them some purpose. Now that we've got all that out the way, the perfect game to start off this list is Armored Core 6. Majority of the trophies are progression based, like unlocking all mech parts or weapons, which was fairly easy. The hardest trophy by far was to S rank every mission, which varied greatly in difficulty, with some requiring speedrunner level precision. Time-wise, it was a very quick plat, considering you have to achieve all 3 endings. However, there is no amount of clout to be gained from this trophy, as Armored Core is still fairly niche, and because the trophy wasn't that hard, the fanbase wouldn't congratulate you much either. I rank this A tier. It's a high A, but still. Astro's Playroom. I'm gonna keep it quick. Game's an easy A tier. The plat is extremely easy to achieve, and I completed it in 2 days. The game comes with a PS5 and is meant to be a showcase of the features and a fun little platformer. It's not hard, and the trophies are creative and aren't all just a freebie, so it still requires effort, though there is 0 status. I don't think any of my friends who own PS5s even played this game, though it came pre-installed if that says anything. Black Myth Wukong. This game was torture to platinum, partially because of my own poor routing and these riddle-ass trophy hints. Primarily what made this plat suck was the grind. The grind to get all drops for all armor pieces, curios, seeds, and soaks. I was lucky to get a fair bit of this on my own, but the remainder required a guide or else it would have been completely impossible. You're also required to get both endings. But if you achieve the true ending first, it makes speedrunning through the game very quick. So surprisingly, playing through the game 3.5 times because I was an impatient idiot was not that bad. With all this in mind, Wukong gets a low B tier, with some clout to gain from the community for your dedication. Bloodborne. Definitely a longer journey because of 3 different endings. I do not save scum. I earn these trophies like a real man, and that goes for every game on this list. I can't tell you if speedrunning the game on New Game Plus is easy or not, because I opted to play the game 3 times across 8 years. All the difficulty comes from the Chalice dungeons and the grind that was. Also, I'm sorry, I abused CUMMFPK. If you know, you know. I probably died 50 times on the Amygdala in the last Chalice and like 20 on the Watchdog, but beat the Thermian Queen on the first try. I don't know. It was enjoyable aside from everything related to the chalices. But let me tell you, the clout is good. You plat Bloodborne? What? Isn't that game hard? Yeah, that's right. I'm really cool. A tier, carried by status. Now, I know we've only gotten A and B tiers. Believe me, it will get worse. And that time is right now. Dark Souls Remastered C tier. I don't care, the clout cannot save it. You have the Dark Souls plat? What did it take? Everything! I abandoned nearly all my morals for this. I duped souls, I duped humanity. Tell me why I need to max out every weapon affinity and why the Titanite slab to do this was limited per playthrough. On top of that, I had to get every unique weapon, which required you play through the game 3 times, which still I did not save scum. But damn. And the Channeler's Trident? I spent 7 hours across 2 days, spawn kill over and over and over and over. 2 enemies with a 1% drop. Why? Let me calm down. None of this was hard, just annoying. The only thing preventing this from being a D tier is how good my ego feels when I tell people I plat Dark Souls. Days Gone. This is another game I can keep quick and will be our first S tier. It took me quite a while to achieve this plat, but that was mainly due to the game being long. It didn't require you to beat the game multiple times or farm for any items or play on the hardest difficulty. This made it enjoyable for me and I'd believe achievable for the average person. In fact, my mom actually plat this game. Once again, not being biased, but my mom's opinion kinda adds to its status and boosts its rank. Though if it wasn't for her, there is no status to be gained from Days Gone. Most of these trophies will be acquired naturally and don't require the use of a guide at all. Even the trophy for grabbing all collectibles only requires you find 75% instead of 100, which is very forgiving and really easy if you didn't rush through the game. Deathloop. I found each of these trophies to be really fun and enjoyable. Your trophies are like creative mini challenge runs, like enter the map with an empty loadout and win, or kill all visionaries and exit without using a gun. If you want to know a fun fact about me, I love watching challenge runs on YouTube. I'm surprised the plat achieve rate is a low 1.5%, but to be fair, majority of these trophies will not be found naturally through gameplay. Deathloop is niche and doesn't reward any sort of clout, but my own satisfaction is enough, and if it wasn't obvious, the game gets an S tier. I don't think I mentioned it, but the game's very short, so the plat naturally was also pretty quick, which explains why the trophies were designed the way they were. Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles. It's as simple to gain as playing through the story mode, and then playing through the story mode again, but this time S ranking everything. There were definitely a couple hard missions to S rank, but I'm not very good at fighting games and I still achieved them. So difficulty wise, the game was pretty easy. A fear I have with these online games are trophies tied to the actual online portion of the game. This would be far harder if I had to face off against sweaty fighting game players that don't touch grass. However, that was not the case and can actually be achieved completely offline or like in co-op if you have a second controller. Demon Slayer gets a comfortable B tier. It really is an average platinum. Doesn't take long and isn't too hard, but also isn't anything exciting. Elden Ring. There's so much clout to be gained. Yeah, that's right, I plat Elden Ring. One at a time, ladies. But for real though, Elden Ring is known for its difficulty, so its plat is seen as cooler. Though it actually wasn't any harder than the game was. Achieving 3 endings was not too bad, clocking around 250 hours for the first, 6 hours for the second, and 3 hours for the third in New Game Plus Plus. Yes, it takes a long time because Elden Ring is a massive game, so finding all legendary talismans, sorceries, armaments, and whatever does take a while, but it's not a grind. They're all guaranteed drops or items found lying around the world. Some are missable, which is annoying, but if you have to play through the game 3 times already, you're unlikely to mess it up 3 times. I mean, assuming you have a guide open, which is needed by the way. Elden Ring gets a high A tier brought down by the game's length. Enter the Gungeon. Every trophy was largely skill-based no matter how much I complained about having bad RNG. They got progressively harder, such as unlocking each shortcut, which required you no-hitting some of the later bosses, or collecting all 5 master rounds in one run, which required you no-hit all bosses. 1.2% plat achieve rate, all due to Friffle's challenge trophy. There is no greater grind than resetting the same floor to kill a same enemy 250 times, which isn't always guaranteed to spawn, than being hit with the do it again only 50 times with this much harder enemy. And you're required to beat the game a total of 9 times to get this platinum. Don't get me wrong, I love this game, but days of my life were lost to this platinum, so I'm sorry. D tier. Clout would have been crazy if this game was more well known. Fallout 4. The trophies were another one of those get every endings, except this time there's a built-in save mechanics. So I wouldn't call it save scumming per se, but rather smart route planning. I did legitimately play through once though. The hardest thing to do was to get max happiness in a settlement. I kid you not, I downloaded a Google spreadsheet that was like a fan-made happiness calculator in order to do this. It's so bugged and the requirements are not specific, it's doable but annoying. A tier. Ghost of Tsushima. A nice and easy plat to achieve that had no demanding collectibles to find or anything stupid like that. Just completionist activities like doing all side quests or finishing all objectives. None of the trophies were hard, and the only one I had to Google was dress up as a legendary thief because I'm too young to know anything about Sly Cooper. Another platinum achievable for the average person because my dad has this one. So similar to Days Gone, my dad's achievement boosts the status of this plat for me. S tier. Even without the clout, it's still S tier because it's not a giveaway, but still fun to achieve. Horizon Zero Dawn. The funny thing about Horizon is that I wasn't happy for achieving the plat, but happy that it was over. There's such a large amount of collectibles in this game tied to trophies, it's crazy. None of them are hard to find, it's just like a lot of effort for very little reward. All allies joining Aloy in the final battle is a missable trophy, and had I missed it, I would put this game in C tier. But I did every side mission, so I was not at risk of this. Instead, high C tier. It was just so tedious. This was a difficult decision, but my mom also got this one and agreed. Infamous Second Son. I played this game as a kid back in 2015, and out of 48 trophies, I was 6 away from the plat, if that says anything about its difficulty. You have to play through the game twice over and at least once on expert, but when you're speedrunning, ignoring everything, you would not believe how quickly you can beat this game. Majority objective and mission-based trophies, which all can be done through natural gameplay. There are a couple creative trophies, but nothing crazy. I'm debating S tier, but something in my gut makes me choose high A tier, so high A tier. There's no clout, so that's probably why. Just Cause 3. It has a 0.3% earn rate, and for good reason, because there's so many collectibles in the forms of tapes, jumps, shrines, parts, cars, and on top of that, you need to get max rank in every challenge, which isn't hard unless it's bugged, which happens very frequently. There's a lot to do to 100% this game. There were some fun creative trophies like destroy all chaos objects in a base without weapons or without leaving a vehicle, but still not hard. If you were to attempt this, pay close attention to the trophy awarded for beating a score you were called out on. which is this game's leaderboard for random in-game records. You can permanently lock yourself out of this trophy if you were good enough at the game. Almost all the records I set would never be broken, at least not without a lot of effort, and they'd have to be broken twice before I'm even given this trophy. I don't have friends who play Just Cause 3, so I started a fresh save on my sister's account, beat some simple record that I missed, and then went back to my account to beat the record again. Just Cause 3 gets a low B tier because it's super time consuming, and if you are unlucky enough, you could get locked out of the plat. Minecraft Dungeons. Simple but difficult alone, and impossible without a second controller or friend because you would have to revive a down friend 20 times. All these trophies can be attained through natural gameplay, and none really stand out. Defeating the final boss on the hardest difficulty alone would have been really hard if I didn't accidentally cheese the boss. Also, no one cares about Minecraft Dungeons. B tier, very average trophy, takes effort but was boring. The beloved Minecraft. It's Minecraft! Of course there's status in this plat, or so you would think. When I tell people I own this plat, I'm told to go outside. It's not even difficult to do, just obscure things like collecting all 16 colors of wool or traveling 500 meters by minecart. I guess back then that would have been hard, but now iron is so abundant this trophy is irrelevant. In my personal opinion, the main trophy set needs to be updated or reworked. I guess that's what the expansion packs are for, but those don't matter because there's no plat. Regardless, S tier. If you look at the achievement list, it outlines a nice path of progression with fun tasks to do in between. And because it's console, I don't have to do the how did we get here trophy. Nioh 2. Obviously the trophies are going to be hard, it's Nioh. Though anyone attempting this trophy would find it's much easier to earn than you would expect. Majority of the rarest trophies are just grinding out weapon levels and then the standard find all collectibles. There are some unique level specific trophies which make the journey to plat a little more interesting, but funny enough, the trophy that took me the longest was grind for 50 tea utensils, another form of collectible. Spoiler, this involved me repeating the mission to defeat William maybe 30 times? When I compare the trophy earn times, it seemed to have taken me 4 hours. Still A tier though. This trophy is done much easier and quicker than you would expect and gives some status because Nioh 2 is brutally difficult. Nobody saves the world. Nobody knows about this goofy little game. It was pretty short and easy to obtain, with trophies being progression or quest based. The hardest thing to do was beat the game in New Game Plus. This was difficult because it randomized all dungeons to have like very weird clearance objectives, some of which took me like an hour to get through. Made speedrunning very time consuming, but at least it wasn't boring. Also has co-op so you can get these trophies with a friend. I'll give it a low A tier because it's unknown and New Game Plus was time consuming. Rainbow Six Siege. I'm not sure I can fairly rank this game because the trophy list was actually changed. The trophy I remember getting was to clear Article 5 on realistic difficulty, however T-Hunt and missions in general don't exist in the game anymore, so this trophy was removed. Same with the trophy for reaching gold. With that aside, like any online game, the trophies depend on the players you face. Like kill an enemy with a breach charge. Good luck doing that in any rank above silver. Tell anyone you have the plat trophy and they just respond, plat trophy but not plat rank. Talk to me when you're out of copper. Like, shut up! If it was up to me, I'd say C tier. For an online game, the trophies are easier than you expect, though it's very time consuming, and I hate this game. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I want to give this game a high B tier. Not that there was anything wrong with it, it's just too short and such a freebie. There are some creative trophies and things that took effort, but still I beat and plat the game in 23 hours. I know this game is made for kids, but that's crazy. Rocket League. I'm surprised this isn't more earned. The trophies are mostly creative. What eases the difficulty is that most of them specify any mode. So I feel like I did most of these against AI. I don't remember since I got this in 2017. The least earned trophy is to win the season championship. How? Is that not against bots? Like seriously, just set them to the lowest difficulty or something. Not having much clout here because once again, the in-game rank is much more valued than the trophy list. As far as I'm looking, this game deserves an S tier. I feel off about it though, so let me know if I'm wrong. I achieved it when I was 11, so it can't be that hard. Skyrim. Even though there's so much to do in this game, the trophy list is pretty limited to only the major quest lines. Be warned, this plat is scary to go for because of how buggy the game can be, or if you're simply unlucky. I was locked out of the Civil War trophy in my first playthrough because the quest glitched and I could not complete it. The Oblivion Walker trophy can also be missed based on your decisions. I don't like trophies like this because there's no redemption, so be careful. There's definitely status in this plat, and I feel proud for achieving it. There is potential for an S tier, but because so many trophies are missable, I can only award it as much as a low A. Slime Rancher. Easily my most stressful plat trophy. I don't think anyone should actually try and achieve this at all because of the Rush Plortmaster achievement. It's a game mode where you're given around an hour 20 on a new save with slight modifications to make as much money as possible, the goal being 75,000. You guys don't understand the route planning, all the guides I watched, tech and game knowledge needed for this trophy. When the achievement popped, I wasn't happy, only relieved. High C tier, carried by its creative trophies. I will now rank both Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales because the trophy lists are pretty much identical, with unlocking all suits and skills, completing every objective, and grabbing every collectible. That's where Spider-Man's trophy set ends. I didn't realize how basic it was. Miles Morales steps it up with a couple creative trophies, and then the hardest was beating the game on New Game Plus, which I speedran in one sitting. I'm pretty certain everyone I know that's played this game got the plat, so it's nothing special, and both deserve no higher than B tier. Straight average, and very quick to grab. Stardew Valley. Wow, is this a grind. 128 hours. Since 1.6, the friendship and recipe achievements weren't that bad to get. Achieving 100 million gold took a long time, but once you're set up, it's no problem in the late game. What was a problem was Vector's challenge. I don't care, call yourself a better gamer than me, but I had to save scum before each level. So I kind of lied earlier. But dude, beating all this without dying once in the RNG bullet hell is not something I wanted to dedicate weeks of my life trying to achieve. I'd give Stardew Valley low D tier if I had to do Vector's challenge without cheating. Otherwise, high C tier. It's high because girls like that I play Stardew Valley, so there's clout there. Stranded Deep. I wish this game was more recognized so more people could understand what I had to go through for this plat. Beating the game without a compass had me using the sun to find my directions. The 2 of each trophy was interesting, but so difficult to pull off since the exact requirements I swear are still unknown. But what really sucked were the don't sleep, don't eat meat, and don't leave the island trophies for 10 in-game days. Fun fact, each in-game day is 40 minutes. So I drank water and ate potatoes every 15 minutes for 7 hours! I love Stranded Deep, but this is a D tier. It's such a waste of time. Subnautica. I struggled playing Subnautica because I found it really scary, so it was hard for me to plat even though all the trophies were progression based. There are no creative or fun trophies, but they all line up really well with the game's progression. So as long as you beat the game and remember to send out a time capsule, you'll earn the platinum. Fairly well known game, but there's no challenge, so no status. The path to the plat makes sense and is very achievable, so I'd give it an A tier. Not S just because there's no fun or creative trophies. Once the game's done, it's done. Tales of Iron. If anyone knows this game, I will be surprised. The trophies were simple and outlined progression. I don't believe any trophies were missable, but you were required to do things like complete all quests, defeat all bosses, collect everything, right? I remember not being bothered by the trophies, but the gameplay itself. Because there was so much back and forth for each quest, it was more annoying than difficult. I do believe I enjoyed my time though, so low A tier. Terraria. Short answer, grind. Long answer, I have near 600 hours in this game. 0.6 plat earn rate because of collecting all armor sets and finding all pets. I enjoyed doing this for the most part because I love Terraria, but my drop chances are so bad. Why make a 1 in 5,000 drop chance for Amber Mosquito? And the baby penguin, I blew up an entire biome to find. You could play this game for a year and not get the plat without a guide. Why make armor drops 0.1% chances? Like, why? Despite all this, there was a good chunk of interesting trophies that added some enjoyment. Huge clout, because if you have the dedication, you have all my respect. C tier though. This hurts me, but I know the average person will look at this trophy set and go, I'm not doing that shit, and then play something else. Last but not least, The Forest. Now I have some tips for y'all going for this. I love this game and found all the trophies to be fun, except cutting down 1,000 trees, because it has to be done in one sitting. But, pro tip and spoiler alert. If you unlock creative mode, you can very easily bomb the forest with tripwires. This still took me 3 hours. You can also use creative mode to beat the game without killing or eating meat. Call it cheating? I don't care. 3 trophies are multiplayer based, which sucks, so I hope you have a friend. Overall, A tier, because cutting down 1,000 trees should be cumulative and was a big waste of my time. That's it guys, this is the final list. I hope we can all agree on my opinion, and if not, tell me why in the comments. I'm aware no games are in F tier. If the plat was that bad, I wouldn't have tried getting it in the first place. An example of F tier would be Fortnite's plat. I'm serious, it's that bad.
I know it's a lot to ask. I really can't leave without it.
Check your map for the location of the medkit.
Anyway, this video was fun to make and took a lot of effort, so thank you all for watching.